album review on the members only channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Stevie Wonder's 18th studio album, Songs in the Key of Life, released 45 years ago today. This is his 18th album after a very successful streak of albums in the 1970s. This serves as a culmination of everything that he had been working with throughout the decade. The first song on the album, "Love's in Need of Love Today," sets a great tonal sort of vibe of the album. It's a very smooth R&B number about, just about love, what Stevie Wonder does best. The next song on the album, "Have a Talk with God," is about, having a talk with God, when your life gets hard. It's a little more on the funkier side of things compared to the smoothness of "Love's in Need of Love Today." After "Have a Talk with God," we get "Village Ghetto Land," which is just Stevie Wonder's voice with a synthesizer posing as a string section accompanying him. And lyrically, he talks about the grim reality of what it is like to live in the ghetto. After "Village Ghetto Land," we get the instrumental "Contusion," which is a very wild and energetic song, kind of jazz. It's kind of like jazz. It's probably the most jazz song that Stevie Wonder has made. After that, we get "Sir Duke," which is way more on the funk side of things. It serves as a tribute to the musical legends of the past that have inspired Stevie Wonder, like the namesake, Duke Ellington. After "Sir Duke," we get another funky song with "I Wish," which is about Stevie Wonder wishing to go back to the good old days of his childhood. And it's just a very, very funky song, a very relatable theme. After that, we get "Knocks Me Off My Feet," which is another love song, and it's a very, very pretty love song. The outro of it, though, is very, very intense. It's very, very grand with the constant repetitions of "I don't want to bore you with this, but I love you, I love you, I love you." After that, we get "Pastime Paradise," which is another synth strings song and accompanied by a choir. Kind of a weak moment on the album for me, but I still really, really like the song. After that, we get "Summer Soft," probably my favorite song on the album. It's another love song, and then when it gets to the chorus, it's way, way more intense than it is on the verses. The verses are very, very normal and very, very, uh, you know, very, very smooth, and then the choruses are much, much more intense and much more, epic. After that, we get "Ordinary Pain," which is another sort of song like "Summersoft" and like "Knocks Me Off My Feet." It's actually split into two parts. The first part of the album or the song, is a smoother, sort of mellower R&B love song, and then it gets much more intense in the second part of the song with those like very, very loud backing vocals on the song. After that, We get Isn't She Lovely, which is one of Stevie Wonder's biggest hits of his entire career. Just a very, very heartfelt tribute to his newborn daughter. Joy Inside My Tears is a very, very slick song. Slick love song, smooth. Just kind of more of the same on this album, which I love about it. You kind of know what you're going to get, and you know that it's going to be amazing. After that, we get Black Man, which lyrically is about, sort of Stevie Wonder's like yearn for racial harmony and racial equality. Very, very funky, kind of like a funk rock kind of thing. It really, really grooves really, really hard, you know? Then we get I Am Singing, which the first verse of is in Zulu, which is an African language. The second verse is in Spanish, and the rest of the song is in English, and is about singing and songs, and how songs can make you happy and songs can make you sad, and just the different emotions that you get from singing and from songs. After that, we get If It's Magic, which is just Stevie Wonder accompanied with acoustic guitar, talking about talking about magical love. Like he doesn't really specify what is magic, but I think everyone can tell that it's love. Love is magic. After If It's Magic, we then get As, which is another very, very groovy love song. And it's just about, it's about you, how your part, like, and it's about how, like, no matter what happens, Stevie Wonder will always love you. Always. Like, even if the most physically impossible things happen, even if literally things that cannot happen, he will never stop loving you. Even if dolphins literally fly, he won't stop loving you. And I think that's really beautiful. And when Stevie Wonder gets into that sort of like growling tone that he gets into a lot, it's just perfection. And speaking of perfection, we get the last song on the album, um, Another Star, which is a very monumental closing song on the album, and it just grooves really fucking hard, and it's just so addicting and so catchy with those like female backing vocals, and I just love this song, and I just love its placement as the last song on the album. Yeah, I don't know what else I could say about this album that hasn't already been said like countless times. I mean, the production on this album is like my favorite production on any album ever, as well as Stevie Wonder's musicianship. It really like went to the next level. Like his last album before this was Fulfilling This' First Finale, and that album was great. But this album just took it like if fulfilling this first finale would be like a 10 or something. I wouldn't give it a 10, but if it was a 10, this album would be like 50 million times better. Like this album, in my opinion, blows everything else that Stevie Wonder has ever made just completely out of the water. Like, this song holds a very, very special place in my heart. This album holds a very special place in my heart. And this album is just truly, truly timeless. It came out 45 years ago today. And in 45 years from today, it will still sound just as fresh and just as exciting as it does now. And, I mean, like, was it groundbreaking lyrically? No, but it's just great songs. It's just great songs, great performances, great production, great musicianship, and it's just songs in the key of life. The key of life is happiness. These songs make you happy. They just give you the most like wonderful joy ever. They give you like the kind of happiness that you feel like as a little kid when you eat ice cream for the first time or something. Like they just fill you with this childlike glee that just exudes out of every aspect of your body, out of every orifice of your body, and it's just relentless, and it's just beautiful, and it's just perfect, and it's just I can't really say anything more about this album. There's only so many ways that I can say that this album is good and I like it before it gets a little old. Yeah, it's a 10. It's definitely a 10. I'm feeling a strong 10 to a light 11 on this album. Yeah, Stevie Wonder, thank you for dropping this 45 years ago, and hopefully in 45 years, people will still appreciate this album. I know I will still appreciate this album in 45 years. And that's going to do it for that. So I'll see you the next time I review an album. You can see the last album I reviewed as well. And that's that. Goodbye.